When she walks away, you don't beg, you don't chase, and you don't explain. True strength is silence, composure, and discipline. Through Stoic philosophy, you can make her realize the weight of losing you, without saying a single word. Your calm becomes louder than her doubts. When a relationship ends, emotions often run high. Words are exchanged, some hurtful, some desperate, some pleading. Yet, the essence of Stoic philosophy teaches that the most powerful statement you can ever make is through silence and action, not arguments or persuasion. If she left you, if she doubted you, or if she underestimated your worth, Stoicism provides a way to make her accept losing you without uttering a single word. The Stoics believe that control is limited. You cannot control her choices, her feelings, or her return. What you can control is yourself, your discipline, your character, your composure. In relationships, when you embody the Stoic mindset, you demonstrate strength without speech. That strength forces the other person to confront the reality of your absence. She begins to recognize that losing you was not merely an event, it was a turning point where her decision cost her something valuable, irreplaceable, and silently unshakable. Detachment, the Stoic weapon. Epictetus famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This principle lies at the heart of making her accept losing you without uttering a word. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. Instead of pleading or seeking closure, you detach. You refuse to engage in endless debates, explanations, or accusations. Your silence communicates self-mastery. She sees that you are not fighting for her attention or trying to prove your worth. This absence of struggle makes her confront reality. Most people expect emotional reactions after a breakup: anger, sadness, desperation. When she encounters your silence, your calm, your Stoic indifference, it unsettles her. She realizes you are not dependent on her for validation. Detachment shows her that losing you means losing someone who does not cling, who does not beg, who does not collapse. It makes her accept that her departure was not a victory but a loss. The power of indifference. The Stoics spoke often of apatheia, not apathy in the modern sense, but freedom from destructive passions. This does not mean you do not care, but rather that you are not ruled by care. Indifference is powerful because it leaves no room for manipulation. If she expects you to chase, to argue, to prove, your indifference robs her of control. You do not play the game. You do not try to win her back. You do not even attempt to make her jealous. Your life continues without interruption. You go to the gym. You read. You pursue goals. You improve yourself. You build discipline. Every act of indifference to her absence reinforces the message: you are a part of my life, not the center of it. This forces her to accept that losing you does not cripple you. On the contrary, it strengthens you. She sees you unshaken, and in that silence, she confronts the reality of her own decision. Presence through absence. Paradoxically, absence can speak louder than presence. Seneca once wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." When you embody this, your absence becomes a mirror for her reflection. Instead of sending messages, writing long explanations, or demanding closure, you vanish into disciplined living. You stop feeding her ego with your attention. The space you create is not empty, it is filled with your strength. She remembers your presence not through your words but through your absence. Silence makes her confront questions. Why is he not chasing me? Why does he not seem affected? How can he move forward so calmly? The more you live without her, the more she accepts that losing you is final. Silence becomes the teacher. Your absence becomes the reminder. The mirror of virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When relationships end, bitterness tempts people into pettiness. Some try to provoke jealousy. Some attempt revenge. Some drown in public displays of pain. Stoicism rejects all of this. Instead, you live by virtue. Discipline. Courage. Justice. Wisdom. You rise above the emotional battlefield and embody the man she may not have recognized fully when she had you. Virtue is silent but loud. Your calmness in the face of loss, your commitment to living with integrity, your refusal to break your own principles, all of this communicates something no words can. She will eventually see that you did not crumble. That you did not lose yourself. That you grew stronger. This realization forces her to accept the gravity of losing you. She lost not only a partner but also a man rooted in virtue. The discipline of action. Words are cheap. After a breakup, promises and pleas rarely carry weight. But action is undeniable. The Stoics placed supreme importance on action over rhetoric. You do not need to announce that you are improving. You simply improve. You do not post on social media about your growth. You simply grow. You do not explain to her how you are moving on. You simply move on. This quiet progress speaks volumes. When she sees you healthier, calmer, more successful, and more centered than before, she cannot deny it. The evidence is there without you uttering a single word. Your discipline of action becomes the silent answer to her doubts. She cannot argue with what she sees. She accepts that losing you means losing someone who refuses to stagnate. Silence is strength. Epictetus warned against constant justification. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. The same applies to loss. You do not need to justify why she lost you. You embody the truth in silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is control. It is refusal to argue over your value. It is confidence that your worth does not require explanation. Every time you resist the urge to send that long message, every time you hold back from reacting emotionally, every time you choose silence over chaos, you demonstrate mastery. This mastery forces her to confront her own emotions without the distraction of yours. She accepts losing you not because you convinced her with arguments but because your silence showed her she cannot reach you anymore. Stoic self-sufficiency. The Stoics believe the wise man is self-sufficient, not in isolation but in independence. Happiness comes from within, not from another person's approval. If she left expecting you to fall apart, Stoic self-sufficiency disproves it. You thrive in solitude. You embrace the freedom to grow, to think, to pursue. Your well-being is not dependent on her presence. This independence makes her accept that losing you does not mean you are broken. Instead, it means she lost someone unshakable, someone who could love without dependency, someone who does not collapse when abandoned. Self-sufficiency communicates a truth more powerful than any words. You are complete with her, but you remain complete without her. Amor fati, loving fate. One of the deepest Stoic practices is amor fati, the love of fate. To love fate is to accept everything that happens, including loss, as necessary and meaningful. You do not resist her leaving. You do not cling to what ended. You embrace it as part of the natural order. This acceptance removes desperation. You are not waiting for her to return. You are not fighting destiny. You are living in harmony with it. When she sees you embrace life without resentment, she realizes that losing you was not a wound that destroyed you but a fire that refined you. That acceptance forces her to confront the truth. She left, and you became stronger because of it. Eternal perspective. The Stoics often reflected on mortality to keep perspective. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that life is short, death is certain, and everything fades. When you adopt this eternal perspective, you see the breakup not as the end of your world but as one event in a brief existence. You rise above the drama because you understand that time is precious. Instead of wasting months trying to convince her, you invest in yourself, your purpose, your legacy. She, meanwhile, begins to realize that she was not the center of your universe. This cosmic perspective makes her accept losing you, because you see life as larger than her absence. Living example, not argument. Ultimately, Stoicism is about embodiment. You do not need to argue your worth or explain your philosophy. You live it. When you detach, stay indifferent, embody virtue, embrace silence, act with discipline, remain self-sufficient, and love fate, you send a message louder than words. She will see it. She will feel it. She will recognize it. And she will accept losing you because your silence, strength, and stoic composure leave no room for doubt. The lesson is not about making her regret, but about making her accept. Acceptance comes not from confrontation but from witnessing your transformation. Through Stoicism, you do not say a single word, yet you say everything. Conclusion. To make her accept losing you without saying a word is to embrace the Stoic path. You detach without bitterness, embody indifference without cruelty, remain present through absence, and live by virtue. You act with discipline, embrace silence as strength, rely on self-sufficiency, love fate, and keep perspective. This approach does not guarantee she will return. That is irrelevant. What matters is that she recognizes, silently, deeply, undeniably, that losing you was not just a choice she made but a loss she must accept. Stoicism transforms the pain of loss into a display of power. In your silence, she hears the loudest message of all: you are never dependent, you are always whole, and her absence cannot break you. That is how you make her accept losing you without uttering a single word,